Hello, and welcome to this year's Information is Beautiful Awards. My name is Lisa, and I'm here to help you as the program manager of this year. Today, I want to walk you through how to get through the submissions process as quickly and efficiently as possible, and I'm going to walk through how to start and finish your submissions application. Before we get started, remember any data visualizations published between September 1st, 2023 and December 31st, 2024 are eligible for submission. So before you start, take a look at the categories and seize what makes the most sense for you and your work. And if you're not sure, look at our descriptions. They're all available on the website. I would also recommend checking out our judging criteria. In your submission application, you have a few opportunities to include a summary about the work being submitted. This is where you can add details about your audience goals and design process that gives us additional insights into how you created your work. Both the works themselves, links and/or images, and your descriptions will be considered in the judging process. So here's a checklist of what you might want to have ready before you start this application. Have a single piece of work you're going to submit with a link available. You have the option to say if your work is part of a series if you have multiple visualizations, such as a dashboard or an article. This counts as one piece. This must be captured in a digital format. So that means if you've created a book or if you've created a piece of art, there needs to be some sort of a digital format or a video or photography to show what your work is. There's no limit to how many submissions you can share and submit, so long as each submission is a separate work. Each entry will be evaluated individually. There must be a web link available. If this is a web-based work, you can upload a live silent video capturing your piece in action. If your work has a paywall, there needs to be a link that can be accessed without a subscription. If the link is not accessible, the work will be deemed ineligible. So there will be a place in the form to provide a login for judges to be able to access the visualization. If your work is in a language other than English, you'll have the option to share a translated works, but please submit the original language entry in the form. Share your contact details. This will include an email with your name and profile, so you need to create a user profile, otherwise we won't be able to reach you. You need a high resolution PNG or JPEG file. It needs to be at least 1,000 pixels of width, and it should be a JPEG or PNG. This needs to accurately represent your work. This will be showcased on the website. You can include more than one image, but only the first one will be used as the thumbnail and be featured on the showcase. Names and roles of creators being credited. So you can include more than one person, but you'll need to have one person submit the application. URLs and creator company profiles. So you're going to need to share the links to portfolios, the company website, any information available to share. Descriptions of your work. This is 200 or more words that you should really think about how you want to describe your work. It should not include any sensitive information such as passwords or instructions. This is an opportunity to tell us about your work and tell us about your process and what makes it special. Context about generative AI usage, credit card and payment information, and a soundless video walking through your data visualization. Now, this is optional, but it can be really helpful if you have, say, dashboard or something clickable or a public display of art where it helps to walk us through what you have, and it needs to be silent. Okay. So now that we have that covered, make sure you follow this checklist, and we're going to start moving to fill out the form. So here we are on the Information is Beautiful Awards website, and you're going to have to sign in. I've already created an account and signed in, and I'm going to go to the top to enter the awards. And you can see here there's a big description of everything that I covered already. And we're going to start with the entry details. Again, you will need to create an account where this will automatically set up your entry type. And in my case, it's coming up as a small business or agency. So you can see you start with your entry type, and it says that I'm entering my own work. And then you will need to pick out a primary and a secondary category. I would think carefully about which ones you pick. There's so many to choose from, and you can only win in one category. So I'm going to pick arts, and I'm going to pick people and language. And here you're going to put the title. So I'm going to put in my title. You can check this box if you want to just be in the showcase and not be considered for a prize. Okay, public description. So this is where you're going to share publicly on the website and that anyone can see. This is a great place to talk about what makes your work really special. And you can share about your process, your goals, anything interesting about the data you've collected, maybe things we wouldn't necessarily see when you look at your data visualization. This is a good place to look at the judging criteria before you write this out to think about what you'd like to say. I'm going to paste something in there. Okay. You can check this box if it is part of a series. Mine is not part of a series, so I am going to skip this. And please, in the description, share some information on how this connects to the other projects. A short description. So this is important. This is specific for the judges, so please keep it short. This is a description for them. This will help weigh in on their decision of your work, anything that's necessary for them. I'm going to skip the special instructions. Special access for the judges. So this is, say, if you have a password protected infographic, maybe your visualization is behind a paywall, please provide a way for judges to have access to your project. So the language of the project, mine is English. Other language, this is where if you have a translated work and your work was submitted in another language, this is where you could put the translated work as well. Project URL. And this is where you could put the translated URL. Video walkthrough URL. This is a nice to have if you want to add a video showing an interactive visual. Just make sure it's silent and it needs to be a public link such as YouTube that's available. Publication location. So I'm going to add mine as the UX Collective. Dataset URL. So this is if, say, you want to show a link to where the data is publicly located. It's not required, but if you have a public data set you want to share, that would be great. Number of creators, I'm going to put 1, but if I had more than 1, that's where I would put it. Lead name, so mine is years of experience. I'll put my years of experience. This is where I would put either my personal website, or if I have a company website, this is where I would place that. Second, lead creator portfolio. If I had more than 1 team member, this is where I would put their website or portfolio. Contact information, so I'll just put in my LinkedIn. Credits, I'm going to put my name and role. If there is more than 1 people on this project, the way you enter it is the way it would be displayed in the showcase. So just be aware of how you put that in. Technologies used, I'm going to put Excel, PowerPoint, Illustrator. If you've used any other technology, feel free to add it. I'm going to add Adobe Photoshop. Use of generative AI. We are trying to gauge the usage of AI to determine if and how we should update judging in future awards. If you use generative AI for this piece, please let us know any ways that you used it. This information will not be shared with the judges. It is for internal analysis only. Email address for prizes. This is the person we'll reach out to if you win to get in touch with sending the prize information. Mailing address for prizes. And then we're down to these checkboxes. Check this box if your data visualization was generated or curated for the purpose of showcasing the visual. Yep. Please check this box if you fit into early career, which is loosely defined as having 3 years or less of data viz experience. This helps you become more eligible for Rising Star. I am or will be 18 by January 31st, 2024. Entering that you confirm that all your nominations may appear in digital form. This is important because otherwise we can't post or share your work. You will retain all ownership of your work at all times. This is a showcase of your work and it's to promote you. So I'm going to hit yes. And I consent to being contacted for inclusion in Nightingale or DVS programs. So I would save and proceed. And then I would upload my file. So I'm only going to add 1 image. Again, you can upload more than 1, but the first image is the one that will be showcased. And then I would do my payment. So I hope that all makes sense. And of course, if you have any other questions, you can always shoot us an email at any point. Thank you so much for your time. We're so excited that you're submitting your work to this year's awards, and we wish you the best of luck.